Welcome to the GoGCast, brought to you by Mad Cats, all about the game. An XSplit broadcaster, simple yet powerful, live streaming and recording. And now, your host, Leah.
So hello and welcome to another Girls on Games podcast. This is GoGCast number 67. And sorry we didn't podcast last week, but it was a holiday. So, we had to take our Mondays off. And this Monday is, I believe, a holiday in the States, too. It's Veterans Day or Memorial Day or something like that. Memorial Day, that's it. So I know there are some streamers out there that are doing some pretty cool stuff when it comes to fundraising for veterans and stuff like that. So check them out after the podcast is over. Don't leave us yet, okay? But, you gotta go, you gotta have mad respect for those folks and the folks that do serve the country and the American country overseas, and the folks here in Canada that do that for us. As always, this podcast is sponsored by Mad Cats and XSplit Broadcaster. Once again, I note that this is a ghetto podcast because I'm doing all the production myself today, along with hosting, so that's why we don't have the fancy bumpers and stuff. But they're going to go in post, so that's okay. But here on Twitch, we're going to kind of roll loosey-goosey. It's all right. Today, we've got some fun stuff going on. We have Miss Catherine Smith-Debiane joining us. How are you doing, Kat?
I am sweating up a storm. Summer's here, and I hate it.
Yeah, it's like 30 degrees here already, but thank God we're actually getting some heat. I actually like the heat. That's okay. I can deal. We've also got Miss Stephanie, also known as Tragic Wardrobe. How you doing?
Good. I'm tired. It's sweating too. It's so hot in Canada.
Yeah, I know. What's up with that?
I know. It's like Hawaii.
Speak for yourselves, folks.
Oh, yeah. So that masculine face and voice that you're seeing is Stephen Jeffers. He is a producer at Other Ocean Game Development Studio in St. John's, Newfoundland. My hometown. Represent.
Hey. What up?
What up? So, yeah, it's not quite as warm there, is it?
Not quite.
Not yet.
Actually, today was pretty good. It was like 10 degrees.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a lot better than last week, let me tell you.
Sweet. So, Steven's on to talk about a game that they're developing called Giant Cop, which is a VR game. It's going to be really cool. But Steven and I actually have some very fond gaming memories together because we used to be neighbors growing up. And many times I've probably told you guys about my greatest experiences playing video games as a child, sitting in my brother's bedroom, passing a controller, an N64 controller back and forth as we played Ocarina of Time. The three people playing were my brother, myself, and Steven. So yeah,
Fun memories. Yeah, that's great.
Exactly. So yeah, it's kind of fun how it's come full circle, and our parents can finally say, "Okay, that time paid off."
Yeah, they actually did. That they brought that up earlier when I told them that I was doing a podcast with Leah, and they were like, "What's a podcast?" But they're also saying, "Well, it finally paid off. You guys been gaming all your life, and you actually made it work here." So it's pretty exciting stuff, right?
Sweet. So, Steven, give us a little bit of lowdown on yourself for those new to you and to Other Ocean and what you guys do there.
Sure. Well, like Lee said before, I'm a producer with the studio. So depending on the day you ask me, that could mean a bunch of different things. Mostly I'm a project manager, but I'm the facilitator, I'd like to say, for all the goings on at the studio. We're a pretty small outfit. There's about 50 of us at the studio, about half of them being testers. And we're producing something really cool we're really excited about. It's our first trek into VR, and we're making a game called Giant Cop. And yeah, we're absolutely elated with it because it's been so much fun to actually develop on that platform, which is the Vive, by the way. We'll talk about that in a bit. And overall, I'm just so stoked to actually be doing that, because it's been kind of a dream since I've been a kid to actually make something cool, especially something that we get to produce ourselves. Mm-hmm. And really happy to be here as well. So yeah, thanks for having me on to talk about it.
No problem. What I saw, Stephen was also interviewed on cbc.ca, and when I saw it and saw his friendly face pop up in my newsfeed, I was like, oh my God! So I jumped out right away and said, you have to come and talk about your cool VR stuff on the podcast. But before we get into all of that and hot news, I want to know what y'all are playing. So, Stephen, what are you playing right now?
Okay, well, I'll get started. So my latest venture, which has been a very frustrating one, has been Dark Souls 3. Ooh. Yeah, I've been doing that all weekend, and it's been a couple of restless nights, and it's a bit of an evil game, but it's one of that satisfaction you get out of beating something finally there with that. So that's been a lot of fun. And before that, I was playing a lot of Doom. and absolutely adored it. Got a lot of good things to say about it. Just had an absolute blast playing it. So there's been those 2 games, and besides that, I'm doing a lot of retro gaming right now. I'm going back to my roots right now, and just found out that there's also this huge community that's involved with speed running video games.
Oh yeah, huge.
Oh, so this is kind of new to me, and okay, so I'm a big Zelda fan. You already mentioned that. Yeah, Link to the Past is like one of my all-time favorite games. I mean, growing up, obviously, just played the absolute crap out of it. Know it to death, or so I thought. And I started just going for it. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try speedrunning this game and latch into with this community and start talking to them and figure out some tactics and things like that. And now, oh my goodness, it's like a whole new world. The speedrunning stuff is crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
There's the speed running where you actually play through the normal game, and then there's the speed running where you're like taking glitches and using them to get through the game as fast as you can. It's really interesting to when you see what is it, good games
Awesome Games Done Quick.
Yeah, there you go. We actually have a friend here in town who does Axiom Verge, which is a new game, but is a, retro style 8-bit sort of thing. And yeah, he plays the shit out of that. And he's actually been at Awesome Games Done Quick and sped run it. And it's really, really neat. It's such a cool, but I can't imagine playing a game that much.
There's dedication involved. I'm not anywhere. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm close to where these guys are, but it's just really cool jumping into the community and learning how they come up with their strategies and how they end up jumping into that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of just opened up my universe a little bit. I've been watching Super Metroid runs now as well. Some classic RPGs like Chrono Trigger and Earthbound.
Sweet.
And yeah, just absolutely loving it.
I see that Earthbound. Is it a poster behind you?
Yeah. Oh, that's the box. I'm happen to be a huge fan. I'm a bit of a collector these days when it comes to the old retro stuff. Like I said, I'm just on that kick. So yeah, loving it for sure.
Sweet. What consoles are you playing your games on? Or PC?
I'm doing a bit of a switch up. I haven't touched PC in a while, though. Overwatch is kind of calling my name lately, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I do a bit of a mix-up right now. I'm playing. I was playing both Doom and Dark Souls on the PS4.
Sweet.
But normally I'm on the Xbox One. Last thing I was playing on that was Fallout and The Witcher and things like that.
Sweet. Yeah, you're onto the same games we are.
Hey,
you'd enjoy our Twitch channel.
Yeah.
Cat SD, what have you been playing?
I haven't touched a real game in weeks.
Why?
I'm gonna be honest.
Wait. Sailor Moon drops what?
I know. I'm actually not playing that much because you need data, and I travel underground, so I can't play all that much. No, I've just been busy. I have a move to prepare. I have a family event in mid-June. It's just everything's up in the air, and it's hot as heck. So when it gets really hot, I tend to just turn on Netflix and become a zombie on the couch.
A potato.
Yeah. So I've been playing a bit of Sailor Moon Drops, still playing some Bravely Second on my 3DS, but I've been mostly binge watching. I just finished rewatching Avatar: Legend of Korra. Avatar is my favorite cartoon, guys. It's all on Netflix. The original, the new one. Watch it twice, thrice. Go for it. It's beautiful. And now I've moved on to Grace and Frankie, which is actually because my mom asked for my Netflix login to watch it, so I was curious, and I kind of stuck with it because I've figured out that Frankie is the voice of Miss Frizzle, and just that series and having the voice of Miss Frizzle in that series, I don't know, it amuses me to no end. So that's what I've been doing. Not really playing, just been watching.
That's okay. Well, if you get the chance, actually, I think you went and watched it with me. But if you guys get the chance, you have Netflix Canada. Go check out the documentary for All Work, All Play. It's the esports one that they put out in theaters not too long ago. We went and saw it in theaters, and now it's on Netflix. So if you're a fan of League, go watch that. It's super entertaining, and just the whole world of esports in general. It's just cool to see that history.
Yeah, and how they go America versus Asia, and how it's so much more organized and bigger in Europe compared to America, and it's a wonderful movie, well made, and it's on Netflix. So
Can't go wrong. Gonna have to update my Netflix post, I think. Steph, what have you been playing? I know you've been on vacation.
Yeah, I'm still obsessed with Sailor Moon Drops.
That's okay, you're allowed.
Now that I'm in the level 100s, I feel like I need to move on with my life.
level 100. I'm
Yeah,
at
I
like
want like
90.
110 or something. It's like, I need to move on. I need to find a different game.
Over 2 hours spent on that, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's yeah, for those of you who haven't heard of Sailor Moon Drops, it's a Candy Crush clone with a Sailor Moon skin, hence we all adore it.
It's amazing.
Never
But
played Candy Crush before until then, so
I don't mean either. But this weekend I want to block off time to play RuneScape because I've been talking about it for weeks but haven't had time. And me and Alicia were talking about that, so I might book off some time this week just to play a RuneScape.
Nice.
Cool.
I've been playing Severed still on my Vita, but I'm trying to, like, it's hard because I get into it and then I like don't want to get too into it because I've got a really, really long plane ride coming up because I'm going on vacation next week and I'm going to have 7 hours. So I kind of want to, like, leave it for then, but then maybe I should just have another game on there. If you guys got any recommendation for Vita games that I should play, I've played a lot of the big ones like Gravity Rush and Guacamelee and that kind of thing. Maybe I need some kind of RPG, which is, like, totally perfect. Maybe I should play Persona.
I haven't played it, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, maybe I should jump on that. But yeah, I'm looking for recommendations if you guys have any. It should be good times. I really like my Vita. I forgot how much I like my Vita. It was kind of like gathering dust for a while. But yeah, I'm happy I've got it back and playing it. All right, let's talk about some hot news that happened this past week. First thing, right off the bat, you know, E3 is coming, so it's like quiet yet not at the same time on the news front. You know, we're hearing little bits and pieces of things that are like rumors and speculations, and one of them is that there's a smaller Xbox One coming, and this would be coming this year, but a more powerful one, ready for, like, VR, which you're probably interested in, Steven.
Correct.
Is probably going to come in 2017. So first we hear about this PS4 Neo thing, and now we're hearing about a different SKU of the Xbox One. It's kind of interesting. We're not too, you know, we're not really deep in the life cycle of the consoles yet. So it's kind of interesting to see this, like, move towards almost like a PC modular mentality that is kind of different from normal consoles generation. We do usually have mid-life cycle swaps out for different, you know, like to get like different SKUs a little bit, but nothing quite this crazy. Now, Steven, you have a PS4. Kat, you have both PS4 and Xbox One. Steph, you have a PS4. All first gen when you think about PS4 and Xbox One. Would you be willing to drop extra cash on getting a smaller Xbox One or a more powerful Xbox One or PS4? Kat?
No, not at this point. Not unless my hardware breaks. But also, like, I'm very fortunate that I have a very extremely, like, overpowered PC. So if VR comes into play, I will be preferring PC over console. So if they're like, you need to rebuy your PS4 to use Morpheus, I'll be like, see you when my PS4 breaks. But and I can't wait to see the smaller Xbox because that's not going to be hard to beat because that thing is huge.
Yeah, it's a beast.
It is so big, so big. I brought my Wii U to work, and my backpack was half empty. Like, if I would have brought my Xbox One to work, I'd be like, let me Uber to work and ask for a dolly so that I can bring that thing.
What's interesting, too, is the Xbox One is a beast, plus it has the power box. On top of that, the PlayStation is this really nice, sleek, italic-looking thing, and then the power source is actually in the box. So that's really interesting. And I think, technically, when you look down the nuts and bolts, the PS4 is a smidgen more powerful than an Xbox One.
But Sony always made better looking hardware. Like, they have their Blu-ray division, they have their TV division. They know how to package something. How do you know how to package hardware? Microsoft has been mostly a software and computer company, and their consoles have always been. I've never been a fan of the look of the Xbox, the 360, the One, whatever. For me, they all look like huge bricks. But they make good controllers.
That's true. Do like that controller. Steph, how about you? Would you be willing to trade in your console for a new one?
No, I don't think so. I feel like I'm always going back to Call of Duty and just dabble in other games, so it's just not worth it to buy another game, other console just for Call of Duty. But
Cool. And you, Steven, would you be willing to jump onto a new one?
Yes, definitely. For the reason that I remember when I first got my Xbox One, the first weekend, I filled it up to like 90% after just installing like 6 games. And I was sitting there like, are you serious? So to me, it is huge, and I'm not a big fan of how large it is. But I mean, as long as it has a bigger hard drive, sign me up. I would do that in a heartbeat. And I like with you, I love the controller. So that's a big deal for me when I'm doing a lot of games and stuff like that. Obviously, you want to do PC if you're doing the shooters and things like that. But playing with my buddies, yeah, you want to have a good console for it.
For certain. And VR obviously is a hook. I mean, that would be my main thing, is grabbing onto VR. I still haven't decided if I'm going to jump onto the PlayStation. Sorry, my chair's squeaking again. I haven't decided if I'm going to jump onto the PSVR right when it comes out. But everything I've played so far with it, I'm like hooked. So. Yeah, it's probably going to come soon after launch, if not right on launch.
Out of curiosity, how many of the VR manufactured devices have you guys played?
3.
Okay.
PlayStation VR, played Oculus, and played...
HTC one.
The Vive?
Yeah, the Vive,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I didn't try the Vive. I tried the Gear, I think, the Samsung one that you put your phone in.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. But yeah. But have they announced if the Morpheus is going to come packaged with the Move? Because you're going to need the sticks.
Yeah, so there are ones where you can buy, because the key is with the PlayStation VR, you need the headset, you need the PlayStation camera thing, and you need the Move sticks in some cases, not all cases. But you have the choice. There was 2 different bundles you could buy. You could buy one with all of that, or one with just a headset, and I think the Move controls are separate or something like that. But yeah, that's been out for a little while because it is coming this year, September, October. I don't remember the dates right off the top of my head. But yeah, you need to buy bits and pieces or the whole bundle. I'm sure at some point they're going to sell, and at E3 they're probably going to announce in 2 weeks that, like, here's the box with the special Neo version of PlayStation 4 plus everything else that you need for VR, and then here's the part for VR that you need because your PlayStation 4 is not powerful enough.
Yeah, you're probably right on that.
Gonna happen. No Man's Sky's creator has been getting a little bit of backlash. Steven, you're probably gonna giggle at this, but at the same time, it's kind of crappy. The poor man's been getting death threats over the news of the delay. Oh my goodness, can't talk again. I love how this happens when I run a podcast. So Sean Murray, who is the developer of No Man's Sky, he tweeted out yesterday, day before, that May 28th, actually, that I have received loads of death threats this week, but don't worry, Hello Games now looks like the house from Home Alone. I actually enjoy the fact that he is, putting a little bit of fun spin at this. I tweeted back at him to maybe he should watch out for the swinging iron. Remember that in the movie? In the head? The iron? Yeah? Okay. I've watched that movie just recently, so yeah. Anyways, because the game has been delayed until August 9th. It was supposed to be out June 21st, but now the internet, as they are pissed that the game's not coming out that time, and apparently this warrants death threats. Steve, you're a developer, producer of a game. How do you guys deal with backlash, especially if it comes in this form? Like, I don't imagine you'd get it quite this intense.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Really?
Yeah, well, I'm just going to spin here. I mean, it's not like, we made a game that kind of ticked people off. You probably can't see it in the background, can you? That didn't work. You just have to grin and bear it, unfortunately. Things happen during the course of development, definitely things that you don't want to happen. And I'm sure that the reason that they're putting these holds off is probably to make a better game. And it's usually a result of these guys. I'm assuming are publishing their own title. I could be wrong on this, but
no, I think PlayStation is their publisher.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think I forget if it's an exclusive or
It is.
an exclusive for first year.
It's exclusive. It's coming out PlayStation and PC.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So they're self-publishing on Steam and publishing through PlayStation, through Sony.
Yeah.
So my guess is that there's some pressure to have a certain amount of quality onto that, and I get what's happening. And it could be the opposite effect where they go out and they launch the game, and then it's not up to people's standards because it's super buggy or something like that, and then they get the death threats then. I'll just give you an example. We did the port of Ultra Street Fighter 4 for the PS4.
Okay.
And that was like a dream come true. I mean, I was working on that project and I had a lot of fun doing it, but, delays happen, things come up, and, there's a lot of pressure to make sure that, there's certain dates you adhere to. And, especially with EVO and stuff on the line, you have, which is, the big fighting tournament for Street Fighter, you need to get the game out right away. And I remember getting a lot of threats about the launch, just because there were a few issues, no doubt. We jumped into them kind of knowing that they existed, and we were working hard to get through that kind of stuff. My favorite one, what I had to do, being the lovely producer, that's you have to do certain things you don't want to do. One of them in this situation was monitoring the NeoGAF forums.
Oh,
and finding out what people were complaining about, so that we could just, target, isolate. If there's anything that caught us by surprise, we can go and investigate it and try to nip it in the bud before it happens. And somebody had sent over a thing onto our Facebook. They said, the last time I saw a port this bad was Hurricane Katrina. And I was sitting there like, oh my God, you just said that, didn't you? That is crazy. So people take it really seriously, maybe more serious than they should. Death threats are certainly horrible, things like that. But people are passionate about the games. They take it too far, I guess, sometimes, but you just have to grin and bear it as developers, and you have to just kind of, I appreciate, if you have some positive feedback, we'll address it. We'll do what we can to make the game better, and we'll move on from there, right?
Yeah, it's tough being in the public eye, be it you're developing, be it you're writing. Even the reporter from Kotaku, who first reported that the delay was coming, got this wonderful DM that says, "Your little article about No Man's Sky being delayed has made me hate you to my very core. It's the only thing I live for, and you go and write that bullshit about a delay. Instead of visiting London later this month, I think I'll come by you and say hi to you and F you up. You think you can get away with this that easy? Making fun of our Reddit page also sounds like you have a death wish. We will find you. Be afraid, human. We are coming for you." That is intense. If I got that, I would be shaking in my boots.
That's serious. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
So
at the same time, I hate to go back to that stereotype, but I feel like a lot of those comments are made by teenagers that have not yet grasped, that don't have a good moral compass, and I have not yet grasped the power of their words. I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah,
you could be right.
It's quite possible. It's quite possible. I'm hoping that at some point in life we're not going to have to deal with this, but the internet and anonymity kind of makes it kind of easy. We talked about at one of the esports podcasts about all the crap that goes on live during a Twitch stream in chat, especially there's racist, homophobic, lots of just genuine gibberish going on in a chat, and yeah, it's going to be hard to police these things, but this just brings to light how ridiculous people can be. Yeah. I hope people start to learn and grow up.
I was going to say, it's the internet. No matter what, you're never going to make anyone happy. And no matter what topic this is going to happen, it's just inevitable.
Indeed. All right. Here's something a little interesting, okay? So one day you go to turn on your PS4. And she does a little sizzle sound. And then she stops running. And then you smell the faint burning smell. Something tastes like a really good barbecue meal. And then you're like, what the hell is going on with my PlayStation? So you bring it to a electrician to ask them to help you out. They open up your console, and inside is a dead snake. Seriously.
That's crazy.
This was reported where I found it was on Mashable, and it was found in Brazil. A bug report in December that was filed for a PS4. Oh man, that's really funny. I mean, I'm sure some really crazy stuff ends up crawling up inside consoles, but like the PS4 is not very big, and this snake, if you look at the picture in the video, like he's kind of large. I can't believe he got in there, but he did. What would you guys do if something like crawled up inside your console?
Cry. Panic.
I would burn my house and buy a new house and a new PS4.
Throw it out the window. I don't care about you anymore.
Just like all the nopes.
Yeah, all the notes would be given.
Yeah,
Just burn the whole neighborhood, everything around it.
Yeah, it brings a whole new concept to bugs, game bugs.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh my god, I know. I'm sure we're gonna hear more crazy stuff like this now that we have one, but the video's kind of awesome because the gentleman like opened up the PS4 and filmed it, and it's clearly a dead snake inside. I will post the link in chat. Hold up, let me do that. Team get the fuck out. Yeah, you're totally right, Kat. Team get the fuck out, indeed. Oh my. So yeah.
All I'm gonna say about that, yeah, it's better than the live one in your toilet, though, right?
Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god.
No.
No. Oh, we're all gonna have nightmares tonight. All right.
I saw that one too.
Let's move on to something else so we don't keep scaring each other. Everybody's hooked on Overwatch, right? Everybody's playing it. Well, now you can go on Pornhub and find Overwatch porn, and it looks like Blizzard's cracking down on it, so if you want it now, you better go track it down now and watch it.
Excuse me, I'm just going to mute myself and turn off my webcam.
Okay, there you go.
Bye.
So, Polygon reported that a few weeks ago, Pornhub gleefully latched onto the hype that is Overwatch by noting volume of searches for porn featuring the game's character. And yes, these searches actually return Overwatch porn videos. Now it appears that someone, possibly the game's maker, is trying to shut down this genre of Overwatch erotica. So, like, you can only imagine which character is going to be involved. It's going to be Tracer and Black Widow and May. Because I know Kat was working on some stuff the other day, trying to get some images up on the Twitch stream thing, and she was finding lots of drawings of May.
I just wanted official art. All I got was fan arts with giant breasts. But yeah, no, you know what? Blizzard, you want to make money? Make your own Overwatch porn. Put that shit.
Right?
There you go!
Right?
I was just gonna say, like,
forget that.
Yeah, you can't beat them, join them, right?
Yeah. I honestly don't know why they're so mad when they have so much publicity from this. It's kind
Exactly. Oh, I'm so not surprised. And it makes you kind of curious to want to go and look and see what other games have been converted into porn or made porn mock-ups. I mean, Lara Croft is the easy one, right? But I'm sure there's like so many other. There's probably like other, like LOL, Diablo. I'm sure there's Mario ones out there. Oh my.
Oh, if it was an inch of popularity, they've made at least one porn off of it just to make that money. That's for sure. Like, if it exists, there's a porn for it. And there's a dog behind you. He's cute. Hi.
It's Bowie. That's Bowie. Oh, look. Hi, Bowie. Come over. Come say hi. He's looking at me now, but he doesn't look at the camera. Come over here. But yeah, so that that was kind of like the interesting news of the week. But not overly surprising about the Overwatch porn. Not surprising at all.
Yeah, not that surprising. It's like you said, I mean, you know, the internet is going to do it anyways. If you're going on a search and you can't find official art, you can find Pornhub searches. My God, you know what's really priority here for people, right? It's pretty wild.
Oh my, indeed. All right, so that kind of wraps up the news for this week. I want to jump into Steven's company, Other Ocean, and Giant Cop. So, Steven,
Sure.
Give us the lowdown on what is Giant Cop.
What is Giant Cop? Okay, so, well, it's a virtual reality game, first off. So we're super excited to do that. It is, we're currently developing it on the Vive, the HTC Vive. And we're just absolutely thrilled with it. It's this really wacky idea, the concept. The origin, I guess, I can tell you a bit about the origin story of it. We were doing a game jam in studio. We're a pretty small outfit. And from time to time, we like to get together and just come up with a concept or an idea. Sometimes it's driven just from like maybe static images or just concepts people have. But we take a couple of days and we try to flesh it out and turn it into a prototype that we would show off. And we had a really talented designer, a former designer at the company. And he had come up with this really crazy concept, which was the Giant Cop. And the whole premise of this game jam was people would be breaking the law. You're in front of this screen, basically, where people are walking up and down the street. And you had to identify little people. It was almost like Where's Waldo, kind of. Where, you'd see guys walking up the street, and it would be like, oh, yeah, you have to arrest the guy with the red shirt. Or you have to arrest the lady with the beehive hair. Or something like that. So that was just the basic premise of the game. So then we started talking about like how wacky it would be. You're a giant person living in the world. How cool that would be as an actual virtual experience, right? We first prototyped it, and we went to EGX last year, and this was before the VR days, and we had a PC demo, and we thought it got a lot of great publicity, but the big problem there was that you never got the immersion. It was mostly just like an RTS kind of style game, or isometric view, and you didn't get that sense, like I'm a giant person in the world, but VR does that quite well. So we're super excited about it. The basic premise is, you're a giant person. It's kind of like the 1970s. It's like an alternate universe, but it's very 70s driven, and it's also narrative driven. So we have this kind of bizarre story. We're not really ready to unveil everything about the story right now. We're kind of holding it in our pocket to release it, but we're really excited about it. I think people are going to latch onto it. A lot of people haven't seen storytelling done in virtual reality, so we want to be one of the first people to do that. And so we're really excited about it. The Vive is absolutely great. It's definitely our go-to when it comes to virtual reality right now, because we have this thing called room scale, so you can walk around in your room space, and it's basically set up a scene in front of you, and you get to see all this cool stuff. And the hand control is just perfect for what we're trying to accomplish, which is grabbing little people and throwing them into jail or whatever it is, right?
That sounds awesome. Now, why the Vive? Was it because of the controller, or was it the dev kit? Was it the easiest one to develop for, unlike the Oculus Rift or the PlayStation VR?
Well, we ran into some people from Vive at a conference, and they were more than excited about the concept. So they sent over a Vive kit, and we started experimenting on it, and we were just immediately hooked. We're like, this is great. This is exactly what we want. Now we are still experimenting with the other devices. We're definitely not throwing anything out right now. We want to make it work on all those kind of platforms if we can. But the Vive is just what we've been working in right now. It's what we're all used to, and it's what we've been using all the demos to kind of draw inspiration from and try out different techniques, see what works best in that kind of universe, because it's all so new to everybody, right?
For certain.
Yeah. So it's really exciting. So there's a lot of challenges that come up in virtual reality. Right. A lot more than just what we're used to when we're talking normal development. One of the big things, of course, is actually moving around in the universe, and how do you accomplish that thing? We have a room scale, but we're talking about we have this place, Micro City. This is where the giant cop patrols, and it's a large area. And we want to. We'll have more details about the actual breadth and scope of what we're trying to do, but movement is such a challenge. It's one of those things that's so easy on a controller. You hit a stick, you hit a button, or whatever. It's way different in virtual reality. So
now, as the giant cop, are you kind of like Godzilla, where you actually have body parts, or are you more like a floating god over the world?
You're more, like you said, it's more of like an omniscient presence. Okay. So you're in the presence itself. You have your head tracking on it, you have your two hands, but we don't have the rest of the body. So at least right now. So what that means basically is that you still do get immersed. You'll be surprised once you put it on. It's weird to just talk about it and show you, or rather than show you. But once you put it on, and you have those hands tracking, you kind of forget about all that stuff. Especially when it comes to like feet and stuff and what's underneath you. You're kind of just more concerned about what's in front of you. And we latched onto that idea.
I really like the art style. You can totally feel that 70s vibe, along with you're almost using like a polygonal sort of throwback. Like, it works really well for VR, because sometimes the fidelity with VR is not always there. You're not going to see Uncharted 4 experience in VR yet, and I think it actually looks really pretty.
Thanks. It's probably my favorite thing. Yeah. The art style is good. So our lead artist, John Lamb, is in charge, and we've got a great art team who are developing this, and they're concepting out different things to make the world really unique. And everybody's really inspired by that 70s style anyways. I mean, there's a lot of big fans of that kind of stuff in the studio. So they're just absolutely loving it, going checking out reference pieces and the music too. Doing the research and checking out all these 70s jams is just super fun. I mean, we're grooving out at work talking about it all the time. It's great.
Do you have an estimated launch date?
We're aiming for the end of fall of this year. We're definitely trying to get out for this year if we can.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still optimistic on that. Right now we're in what we call a pre-production phase.
Right.
We're trying to figure out all the nuances to the technology and making sure that we have everything locked down before we jump into full bore production.
Okay.
And so it's coming soon. We're getting ready to jump out of production now. Hopefully you can't hear that foghorn.
That's okay.
Can you? Okay. We're hoping to get out of pre-production very soon and just start making content. And we're already kind of sold on the whole art style thing and what we want to do with that. We're really excited. You can probably tell.
Yeah, it looks really exciting. And this is not your first game at Other Ocean. You guys made #IDARB.
Yes, IDARB. It draws a red box.
Yeah.
Actually, it's coincidental, I promise, but I'm rocking the IDARB t-shirt here.
Very
today.
nice, very nice.
Yeah.
And what else?
Super fun game.
Yeah.
That one was developed mostly over by our other studio.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Emeryville, or more known as San Francisco.
Right.
And super talented guys. Our creative director, Mike Micah, it was kind of his brainchild. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how far you delved into the whole IDARB experience, but the whole idea was an open source design, which is something I hadn't heard of much before. And it was basically Mike had put out a tweet and said, "Hey, I've got a red box on a platform. What happens? Somebody tell me." So people started tweeting at him and saying, "Okay, well, you know what? I want the box to jump." So he added a jump. And okay, well, it'd be really fun if this was like a competitive, some sort of competitive game. Maybe you toss the ball back and forth. And he's like, "Okay, done." So, and it just spiraled out of control almost until we had the product that we see now, which is this complete wackiness. And it's just super fun. I mean, like, yeah, have you played much IDARB at all? Have you checked it out yet?
Yeah, I played it with Xbox folks. So the Xbox Canada PR guys have a game night every month, usually the first Wednesday each month. And that was one of the game that we played one month, and it was a hell of a lot of fun.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. Yeah,
it was good times. Indeed. What else have you guys done?
So, some stuff before my time. They had done a lot of ports in the past, and like a lot of titles like that. But we have some other IPs, so to speak. One of our biggest smash hits was a mobile game. It was called Radboarding, and I think we had like 2.7 million downloads. It was a big success for the company, and it was just this really another game with a really cool art style and just this wacky nature. And people latched onto it. People really enjoyed it. And also in the background now we're working on some other mobile titles. Something I can't really talk about much of it yet, but we are trying to unveil some other mobile titles in the background as well. So we're really excited about that. But our big focus now, of course, is Giant Cop.
So you have your dev team there in St. John's. I believe there's a studio in PEI as well.
Studio no longer exists.
No. Okay.
No, although it is still a testing house. Our Sculpin QA subsidiary is still there, and Sculpin do all of our in-house testing, and they're still over in PEI, and they're doing great. So everything's good over there. But the Giant Cop is pretty much exclusively. We get some help from the Emeryville guys every now and then for sure, but it's pretty much all coming out of Newfoundland.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Never thought I'd say that.
I know. Is that wild? Yeah. It's wild. I'm going to let Kat and Steph ask a question or two. Kat?
Yeah. Sorry. I had myself muted. So, I've got the big question that you probably get asked a lot, but it's like, you're working on this game on VR, you're throwing yourself at VR. Are you afraid that there's going to be a slow pickup for VR and that Giant Cop is going to be that hidden gem for the next few years until people are like, holy shit, this game?
We've definitely been thinking that, of course, because I think that we're doing a lot of things right now that people haven't really jumped into yet, especially when it comes to the storytelling. You don't see a lot of that really right now in the VR market. And we realize that it's pretty early in the whole phase of virtual reality getting over to people, especially for a household thing. But I mean, we're really optimistic. I think by the end of the year, you are going to see more adopters, especially after the other platforms come out. I mean, Oculus is being shipped now. PSVR is soon to release as well. And if we can get on with everybody there and start showing it off, I do think we're the hidden gem. I'd like to believe so, anyways. I mean, we're really stoked about that game for sure. And I think there's a lot of things that people will latch onto a Giant Cop because again, we're trying to do a lot of things that haven't been done before. So if anything, I think you're going to get a new experience not just for VR, but as a game in VR, if you know what I mean.
Do you have any intentions of putting it in one of those sets that you can slide your iPhone into, or your
Like the Google Cardboard?
Oh, look at that! Very nice.
So this is our...
My coworker actually has that. He brought it back from GDC.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, he probably met our studio head over there, who was hooking everybody up with these. So yeah, this is our official Giant Cop Google Cardboard. GiantCop.com. Check it out. And yeah, if you're at a trade show and you see Mother Ocean down there, try to pick one of these up while supplies last. So yeah, this is the Google Cardboard thing. We made a 360 trailer. A 360-degree trailer that we have for Giant Cops. We are super stoked about that, and of course, that's the first thing we want to show off with this. We haven't really talked yet about making the full game just go on the mobile, because we have a pretty big scope for it. So I don't really know if it's going to fit just yet. But I'm not throwing anything out right now. I mean, this is what people are going to have first, as I'm sure you guys know. Gear VR is everywhere. If you buy like an Edge 7 or whatever, S7 Edge, whatever, now you get a Gear VR. So we want to at least incorporate something to do with it for sure, whether it's just showing up gameplay or having maybe a mini game or something related to it, right?
Let's face it, like in 2-3 years, phones will be powerful enough to run basic VR games. That's for sure.
Yeah, they definitely should. If they haven't thought of that already, I'm sure they have. Yeah.
Oh, I'm if you look at Samsung and at just Google in general, they have their eyes set on VR, and it shows. Especially since Facebook was like, "Let me just grab Oculus for my needs."
For like $1 billion, yeah.
Let's face it, 5 years down the line, it's going to be that Big Brother thing. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty wild, but yeah, I'm hoping that happens. I mean, to have virtual reality experiences on your phone, I just think of all the different kinds of crazy applications you can do with that, because it's beyond gaming,
well, just tourism. To think about it, like Google Street View, like a Google Street View of tourism with your Google Cardboard. Just like, do I want to go visit St. John's with all that foghorn? Then you can be like, oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Without the $1,000 plane ticket.
That's right.
Oh, Canadian travel. Why are you so expensive?
Oh my god.
I want to
Trust
go
me,
to
getting off of this island. I tell you.
Yeah. I want to go to St. John's. I want to go to Vancouver. And they're just like, no, Vegas is cheaper.
Indeed it is, believe it or not. Steph, I'm going to throw it to you to ask a question.
I honestly can't think of a question. I'm so new to the VR thing, so I'm kind of just interested in hearing your conversation right now. That cardboard thing, I've actually never seen that before, so I'm like looking at it, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, this is Google Cardboard?
Yeah, I've never seen that.
So yeah, this is, you can get them at a lot of places now. This is just something that we had developed, obviously for all the trade show stuff. It's got the giant aviators there. It's so funny. I mean,
it's amazing branding.
I showed this off to my parents, and I had them like walking around like this. And I was like, okay, I got to get a picture of this for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. You go to these shows and you see people just wandering around, and they got these things on. And I was like, what the hell is that thing? And yeah, so yeah, we're definitely stoked about it.
Sweet.
And it's pretty simple to use. Like, for those who've never used a Google Cardboard, you need to install the Google Cardboard app on your phone, and you just put your phone in it. Like, I have an LG G4, but we tried it with, my friend has the new Nexus, and it worked too. And then you have a little button that I think at the end has a touchpad activating, and then you can activate some basic commands by just, it's really like, it's literally called Google Cardboard because it's made of cardboard, but it's a very powerful VR tool.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I used it to watch your 360 trailer, like in my office on my chair, just swinging around, being like, wee!
Like a giant cup.
I made myself sick just a little.
Oh, vertigo. Steven, obviously, like, we live in Montreal. Montreal is a smorgasbord when it comes to game developers, BM AAA, middle tier, indies, everything.
Yeah.
St. John's is not really known for that. What's
Not so
it
much.
been like developing games in St. John's, and how did you get into it?
Oh, well, it's so lonely, first off. Not really, because, we have a great crew at the studio, but I mean, like, yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot going on now. I shouldn't sell certain people short. I mean, there are other independent studios going on around there. There's some small outfits that are doing pretty cool things. But the actual dev environment, it's elsewhere, right? So we're always traveling. We always have a team that are on the road, just, networking with people and things like that. But yeah, it's St. John's it's not a big hub for technology yet. We're like an oil and gas province for the most part, and forestry and all that stuff. But we're getting there. I mean, there are some big companies now that are doing tech, not necessarily just video games, but they are starting to show up. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's really cool to be a part of it because it is kind of a unique opportunity. I mean, if you talked to me when we were growing up, about becoming working in video games and doing it here, wouldn't have been
an option.
Was not even on the table, right? So yeah, Other Ocean opened up in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. And the owners are Newfoundlanders, right? So they wanted to have a studio here, and then the other studio down in San Francisco where the CEO lives. And it's such a cool opportunity. But as for how I got into things, it's like this weird. It's very bizarre to explain. I mean, as well as I did growing up, I was always a big gamer and stuff like that. I always had an interest into it, but never I never thought it would be happening here in town. And I was working a completely different job. I was working offshore. I was. You ever heard of an ROV pilot technician? Remotely operated vehicles.
Okay, so it's kind of like drones.
Kind of like drones. In fact, very much like a drone. So I worked on boats, and we used to go out and service oil patches out in the water. And my job was to maintain and fly a robot underwater. And super cool job. I mean, I absolutely loved it. I got to nerd out, with like a video game controller almost. And I was like, yeah, I like electronics. I like, just long late night hours of sitting down and doing nothing. I was like, this is like my life already. I might as well go for it. But what I didn't anticipate was how seasick I would be. And that's a hard way to find out when you're actually doing the job and starting your career that, it wasn't for me, so to speak. So c'est la vie, such is life. I moved on, and I came back, and I was just working part-time, was trying to figure out, what I did after that. Cause it was a lot of my time spent. So ran into an old friend. Actually, you might remember him, Andrew Warford, who is...
yes.
You do? Okay, excellent. So Andrew's an associate producer at the studio. And he happened to run into me and said, Jeffers, what are you doing these days? And I was telling him, well, not a whole lot anymore. I was living the good life until I started chucking it up every night. He ran in and said, you know what, why don't you just come over and start working as a tester for a while and seeing where things go. So yeah, this is pretty much the long story of how I did it. I started working as a tester for about 9 months. I had a business degree and some project management experience. So I said, you know what, let's just give this a try and work as an associate producer. And a couple of months later, here I am. So yeah, I took on the role of I was doing the Street Fighter port, and that was a pretty big job that we had done. And things worked out pretty good, at least in terms of the whole development phase and things like that. So the chops were proven, and then moved into Giant Cop.
Very cool.
And here we are. Yeah.
It's good to know that in smaller communities that are not known, the San Franciscos, New Yorks, Montreal's, Toronto dev teams, even Vancouver in that case for Canada, that there are opportunities for people who want to build games and work in games that are not necessarily a developer themselves, like they're not a coder. That's really awesome, especially since that's your passion.
I am not a coder. Trust me. I am not a coder. I pretend that I can see that or understand the language, but yeah, I don't jack into the matrix, as I joke around with those guys all the time. But yeah, I mean, like you said, there's lots of opportunities. The artists, not a lot of those guys are programmers as well, guys and gals rather. They're not programmers, but there is something for everybody. There's a lot of niches out there. And if you're just like me and you just want to get started as a QA analyst and find out what kind of floats your boat, for me, it was the whole project management and stuff like that that really stuck with me, especially facilitating people and just getting people talking, working with clients, things like that. So yeah, I mean, even if you're just, you want to reach out and talk with people, there's a job for that in video games as well. Yeah. And you folks are here talking about video games and streaming and doing your podcasts and all these things. I mean, that's right on the money right there. There's smorgasbord, like I said, of career opportunities.
Yeah, it's great. Do you have any recommendations for anybody who is in high school right now who might be looking to jump into the game realm that are not in one of the big communities, the big game development cities?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just find out what it is that you're interested in for sure. Starting, like if it's art, programming, design, project management, whatever it is, and then take school for it. I mean, get educated, right? I mean, that's the people at our studio are very educated people, and they're all really adept at what they do, and that's what makes it so enjoyable to go to work. It's there's a great team of people who know what they're doing. Makes everything else a lot easier. Mm-hmm. But that would definitely be the recommendation. Just get involved, and starting as a QA analyst or a tester is definitely a great opportunity because it will open your mind to how development works. It worked for me, so estimate right here for sure.
Sweet. That's awesome. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for our podcast here. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. You want to give us the spiel for all the folks who want to go check out Giant Cop and Other Ocean and where they can track you down on the webs and social media?
So if you're at any trade show or whatever, feel free to come check us out at Other Ocean. We're gonna be at as many of the big things as we can. But if you're not so fortunate, and hey, that's most of us aren't, just feel free to check us out over on Facebook or Twitter. You can find us just by looking up Giant Cop. We also have our website, giantcop.com, mm-hmm. and that's where we're going to be putting a lot of our big updates, and they're coming soon. E3 is around the corner, I think, isn't it? It's quiet right now. I don't know what's going on.
It's E3, man. It's coming.
Yeah, it's like people are waiting for their big announcements, so I would stay tuned for sure.
Do you guys have a presence at E3?
We might.
Ooh, well then. PGO, we might have to poke a certain someone who might be at E3 and see if she can go and grab one of those Google cardboards.
Yes,
with
you
the great aviators on it. I love it. All right, thanks y'all for coming to hang out here on the Girls on Games podcast. If you want to learn more about Girls on Games, you can track us down at girlsongames.ca. That's where everything is. But then, of course, we're on Twitter at the Girls on Games, Facebook, Instagram, all that jazz. We do this podcast live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, that is. But if you can't catch it live, you can track it down on iTunes or YouTube within the day or so afterwards. We post it there as well. And, of course, we stream a lot on this channel, and we've got the stream team schedule up. Kathleen is up tomorrow night. I believe she's doing some Overwatch, because everybody is obsessed with Overwatch. So, yeah, thanks again for coming to hang out. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Stephanie. I would say thank you, Simon, but he's on vacation. He gets mad at me when I don't thank him. But I'm getting used to it now. Thank you to our sponsors, Mad Cats and XSplit. And see you all next week. Actually, no, you're going to see Kat next week. It's our pre-E3 stream. But I'm going to be in Vegas, so Kat gets to do it.
It's going to be a shit show.
All right. It's going to be fun. All right. Have fun, everybody, and talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.